Dear students, welcome to the e-learning session. Hello, I am Navdeep, working as PGTIP in Cambridge International School, the SUVA. Students, in the series of database concepts, today we'll focus on few more terms and we also revise whatever the topics we have covered. So, we are already focusing on database concepts. Students, here you can see the weightage of database. So, its weightage is 20 marks in the syllabus, very vital. And so we will start the practical part by using the MySQL database practically. So within a next 2 or 3 lectures, we will start the practical part also of database. Students, these are the topics that we have already covered: database, DBMS, and key concepts in DBMS. DBMS, we are all familiar that this is a software used to handle different tasks. The different DBMS include MySQL, that is the part of our syllabus. Others are Oracle, Postgres, SQL, SQL Server, Microsoft Access, MongoDB, and so on. This is a huge list of DBMS. So this is the diagram that we have gone through. So we have seen the applications of a database in real life. Then we discussed the very first term is database schema. It is all about the structure of the database. Then we took up a practical example that how a DBMS works in a school. We took the example of a school. Then we covered the second important term is database constraints. So constraints are nothing but the conditions. Like the simple example is like in a school we have a condition that students must score 75% in attendance to appear for the final exam. Then students, we covered the metadata. This is nothing but the data about the data. It is also called data dictionary. Then is database instance. Database is not a static thing. It changes time to time. Like you go to a bank at 9 o'clock and make a transaction at 9:30. Later on from net banking, you make another transaction at, let's say, 1 o'clock and so on. So the database instance means the state of a data at different times. Then we covered the query. This is the very basis of the database. Query means asking the question from the database. Whatever the information we want in a required format that we can ask by asking query to the database. Then students, data manipulations. So we have basically three operations: insertion, deletion, and update, with the help of which we manipulate with the data. We took the example we were having a student table and guardian table, where we first insert the information, then we can modify the information, and as needed we can delete the certain information. Database engine, so that helps in handling the data manipulation and retrieval. So students, we are basically discussing the relational model. So like a relation is equivalent to a table. We have other models like object-oriented model, entity relationship model, document model, and hierarchical model. Many of these models are obsolete nowadays. Another database I discussed that is called graphical model. So graphical data model is becoming more and more popular nowadays. So this is the example that we are taking in our different examples. So like we were having three tables: guardian table, student table, and the attendance table, which are related to each other with the help of foreign key. We will also discuss the primary key, foreign key today in our lecture. Students, this is we have relations, and then we have discussed the description of the different attributes of the relation scheme that you can easily see through this. Then we discussed the tuples relation. Tuples is a row. What are attributes? What is domain? So here you can see what is the relation here is that is the whole table is called a relation. Then we have tuple. So this whole one record is basically called a tuple or a row or a record, and these are the attributes or columns of the table. So in a relational data model, we have attributes. So you can see in the previous slides here, uh, guardian ID, guardian name, these are the attributes, guardian phone, and so on. Then we discuss tuple is nothing but a row or a record. Then we discuss the degree. So degree is the number of attributes in the relation. So here the number of attributes are 4. Then is the cardinality, means that number of rows in the relation. So here the number of rows in the relation are 5. Then important properties, we have just studied in the last lecture the important properties of a relation. Students, the very first property is it imposes the following rules, like each attribute in relation has a unique name, like guardian ID, guardian name, guardian address. These are the unique name of each attribute, and sequence of the attribute doesn't matter. Then the property 2 is applied on the tuple sides. Each tuple in a relation is distinct, so no two rows can be same in a relation. So that we will see how this is enforced in a database. In today's lecture, we will highlight this. The second point in property number 2 is the sequence of tuples in a relation is also immaterial, as the sequence of attributes is important. Similarly, the sequence of rows is also immaterial. Then we move to the property number 3 that we have discussed in last lecture also. So we will continue with this. So the very first point is that all the values in the attribute must be from the same domain. So they should be of same data type. Same data type, you all are familiar that if we are storing the name, so all should be character type. If we are storing the mobile number, so all should be of number type, like this. So each attribute should have the same domain. Second point is each data value associated with an attribute must be atomic. It means it cannot be further divided, like mobile number, it cannot be further divided, and so on. So atomic values is the another property of a attribute. Means a value inside attribute cannot be divided further. Same working on the property number 3. The another point here is no attribute can have many data values in one tuple. For example, guardian cannot specify multiple contact numbers under the guardian phone attribute. So here we will have only atomic values. We cannot have multiple values under one attribute. The last is null value. Students, the null value is very important, very vital in databases. So a special value called null is used to represent values that are unknown. Take an example. Let's say students, one of the student appear for the exam and by chance his answer sheet is lost. When the result is basically is to be announced, what marks we can fill under his subject. So because we don't know the marks, we cannot enter 0 marks, we cannot mark some any other marks. So in that sort of a scenario, we have to enter the null value. Null means unknown. So another example is, for example, if a guardian doesn't share his contact number with the school authorities, then the guardian phone number will be null, means unknown. So students, this null value is also having a huge importance in databases. So continuing, now next students, we are going to focus on keys in the relational database. So the tuples within a relation must be distinct. So how it will be enforced? It will be enforced with the help of keys in the database. That is, there should be at least one attribute in which the data is distinct, unique, and not null. This is enforced through the primary key. So moving on to the keys, we'll go to the first key. Student, first key is the candidate key. So candidate key, a relation can have one or more attributes that takes distinct values. Any of these attributes can be used to uniquely identify the tuples in the relation. Such attributes are known as the candidate key, as each of them are candidates for primary key. So candidate key are basically used to find anything in the relation uniquely, like the guardian ID. Clear? So guardian ID is unique. So then that candidate key will become a primary key. Now you know that basically a primary key, candidate key produces a primary key. In a table we can have multiple candidate keys, but the primary key will be only one. So out of one or more candidate keys, the attribute chosen by the database designer to uniquely identify the tuples is called the primary key of that relation. So in our example, in the guardian table, guardian ID is selected as the primary key. That candidate key is selected as a primary key. The remaining attributes of the list of candidate keys are called alternate keys. So very important, alternate keys. So in the guardian relation, suppose guardian ID is chosen as the primary key that I have already discussed with you, and then guardian phone can be will be called as the alternate key. So moving forward to another key is composite primary key. So students, as the name suggests, composite primary key means it is a combination of multiple attributes to make a primary key. So if in a scenario no single attribute in a relation is able to uniquely distinguish the tuples, so in that scenario more than one attribute are taken together as primary key. Such primary key are consisting of more than one attribute is called composite, means it is made by combining multiple attributes. Like in attendance relation, roll number cannot be used as the primary key, as roll numbers of the same student will appear in another row for a different date. So in that scenario, students, we can make a, in that table we can make a composite primary key. Moving to the another important key is foreign. So students, when we have to join multiple tables, we have to use the concept of foreign key. Very important concept of database. So a foreign key is used to represent relationship between two relations. So when we have to establish relation between multiple relations, we use the concept of foreign key. A foreign key is an attribute whose value is derived from the primary key of another relation. This means that any attribute of the relation referencing which is used to refer contents from another referenced relation becomes the foreign key. We'll see this practical example also in the coming slides. The referencing relationship is called the foreign relation. In some cases, foreign key can take null value if it is not the part of the primary key of the foreign table. The relation in which referenced primary key is defined is called the primary relation or master relation. Student, we will elaborate more on this issue foreign key in the next slide. You see here we are having a student table and guardian table. So you know the student information is available in the student table and the guardian information is available in the guardian table. So let us say we want to find the guardian of a particular student and the phone number of that very guardian. So that is how we combine the student information with the guardian table, that is with the help of the foreign key. So student, here the guardian ID in the student table will act as a foreign key and it will be attached with the primary key of the guardian table. Clear? So this is how we are going to join these two tables and then we can fetch the required information. So foreign key is the concept that is basically used for joining two tables or more than two tables also. Student, in the student table, roll number is acting as a primary key. Here in the guardian table, this attribute is acting as GUID is acting as the primary key, and this candidate key is act as a alternate key. So this is how all the keys are used, and here in this attendance table we can have candidate key by combining the attendance date and roll number. By combining these two attributes, we make a composite primary key in the attendance table. So students, this is how we have discussed the basis and the keys in the relation. I have discussed the things theoretically. Soon we will move to the practical part by using the MySQL software. So we will summarize whatever we have covered in our chapter. DBMS is a software used to create and manage database. A database is a collection of multiple tables. Schema is just a structure or design of a database. Constraints are the restrictions that we apply on data type of the values that are inserted into a table. And then database schema and database constraints are stored in the database catalog. Moving next, a DBMS is a software that we have already covered these points. So a primary key in a relation is used for unique identification of tuples. So primary key enforces it removes the duplicacy and it enforces the rule of distinct values. Foreign key is used to relate or join two tables or more tables also. Each column in a table represents a feature of a record. Table stores the information for an entity where a row represents a unique record. And also each row in the table represents a record, and a tuple is a collection of attributes that makes a record unique. A tuple is unique entity, whereas attributes values can be duplicated in a table also. And finally, students, SQL is the standard language for RDBMS like MySQL that we will do the practically will solve implement these concepts using MySQL software. So MySQL is part of our syllabus. So at the end of the lecture, I thank you all for attending the session. Students, the aim of this session is to get familiar with the terms which are used in database. So soon we will start the practical part of database. Till then, thank you. Thank you.